Hey guys, this is Locke. This video is my review for the Summer Kilphe. To start with, I'm going to look at her TMR, which is, I think it's a pretty good TMR activation. It gives you 20 AP, and then it costs 20 TP to use, so you get an additional 10. So basically, every time you cast it, you get 30 AP. And then on top of that, you'll also get the effect of Shell, which gives you 25% magical reduction for 3 turns. Overall, I think this is a pretty good TMR to have. Obviously, Kilphe's belts is a lot better, but if you are using a unit that needs a lot of AP to work, like for example Summer Lilith, she needs a lot of AP to function. And if Kilphe's belts is already on somebody else, this might be a secondary AP, like a secondary TMR that you can think of using if belts is already taken. So it also gives you 5 agility, which is also a stat that you kind of want to have in your formation somehow. Like if you don't have it in your TMR, you want to give up, or you want to find a way to fit it into one of your other slots somehow. So overall, I think this is a pretty good TMR to have. Now the unit herself. So she has a lot of the things that many other units have, with the exception of one skill called Frost Axe, which gets later upgraded to Frostwind Axe. She has some other interesting things too, like some of her buffs are pretty unique. But I think the main, what's it called? The main pull to wanting to pull her, the main benefit to having her, the main unique thing, I guess I should say, about having her, is the Frost Axe effect. Basically, this thing causes Frostbite, or a 25% chance to cast to have your enemy have the effect of Frostbite. So this is like, for example, a skill where your enemy has a 25% chance of getting stopped or something like that, So it does pass through faith checks and things like that. It doesn't mean like every time you use this, your enemy is automatically going to have the frostbitten status on it. They have to first go to the faith check, and then you have to land a lucky roll of dice, and so on and so on. But it is a very interesting effect, and it is pretty new to the game as well. So I'm going to first of all talk about it a little bit. So what this does is that it prevents enemies from gaining any AP for its duration. So for 3 turns, they cannot gain any AP. And on top of that, they also take AP damage every turn for 3 turns. So the AP damage is basically 10% of their max AP. So if, say, you're fighting against the King Mont, and the King Mont has a max of, say, 200 AP, just to make it easy. He has 200 AP max, and he currently has, say, 50 out of 200 AP. You cast the skill, it lands on him, and now the next turn, he loses 20 AP. So he started at 50, he's down to 30. And on top of that, now when he attacks, he doesn't get any AP. When he uses buffs, he doesn't get any AP. If you already use Kilphe's bells, the effect of regenning AP is nullified. So this effect is understandably very strong on melee type units, not melee, but physical type units, and also strong on units that start with, say, 50% of their AP. It's not so strong for mages, because mages start with, like, say, 80% of their bar, so it'll take a long time to kind of whittle away their AP with this skill. So it's not so useful for them. But for for King Mont, for example, if a King Mont is approaching you and he has enough to cast his Berserk ability, you use this on him, and now he can't cast Berserk anymore. So it's a very strong skill for those melee type units that need AP to function, and they have Kilphe's bells already to, like, if the turn they cast Kilphe's bells and then you land this on them, you basically nullified their Kilphe's bells effect for the whole turn that they're under the influence of Kilphe's bells, right? So it's very powerful. However, just because it's powerful in itself doesn't mean it's a good skill when you look at the character, right? So that's what I'm going to go into. I think it's a great skill in general because it's a very powerful, strong skill, but there are other things that you have to talk about, and that's what I kind of want to cover with this. So because it passes a faith check, and this is the unique thing about her, if you really want to be having a high chance to land this, you really want to be running her at 97% faith. because if you're not at 97 faith, if you're earning her 50 faith, she will have a lower chance to cast, right? Like if you have 50 faith and the enemy has 50 faith, you basically have a 25% chance of landing this effect, which is very low, right? But if you have a 97% chance and the enemy has a 90, sorry, if you have a 97% faith and the enemy has 97 faith, you have about a 50% chance, something like that, to land the skill, which is, which is one of the higher chances you have. It's still a roll of the die, but it's a 50% chance instead of a 25% chance. So if you are going to be building your unit around this skill, you really want her to have 97 faith. But that, in my opinion, introduces a slew of other problems. So first of all, with 97 faith, she will be taking a lot more magic damage, which is not a problem, because she has a lot of stuff in her kit to reduce magic damage, like the Spirit Ward Mastery skill. So what that skill does, it gives 20% magic resistance, 15 spirit resistance. If you're putting her own TMR on her, she gets shell for 3 turns. She also has 10 spirit in her mastery, and if you look at her stats, she has an innate 15% magic resistance. So she, sure, at 97 faith, she will be taking a higher amount of magic damage, but I think there's a lot of stuff in her kit to reduce the magic damage. So that's not the main negative point about having 97 faith. What I think the biggest negative the biggest negative impact with having 97 faith is that she will now be prone to so many other status effects. She has charm resistance, which is good, and she has a little bit of disability resist, but stop is a huge thing now in the game, right? So a lot of units have stop. A lot of units, like for example, King Mont, he will use Berserk. Confusion, there are quite a few units using Confusion as well. So these are all skills that at 97 faith, these skills are more likely to land on her. While she has a more chance of landing Frostbite, she will also be prone to taking all these negative status effects on her. And so that's what I think is going to be the bigger problem with her. If you're going to be playing her to take advantage of the Frostbite skill, you have to find a way to mitigate that. So you will need to find some way of getting disable resist up to at least 25% with, say, some other Esper or some other, I don't know, item. Like you have to put a disability resist item, and also stop as well. You have to give her some kind of stop resistance and disability resistance. Otherwise, I think that's going to be a huge negative draw for her, right? So you have to mitigate that if you're going to be running her running her at 97 faith and trying to take advantage of the Frostbite skill. On top of that, the skill range is not really something that I like. It goes up to a range of 4, but it only has a height range of 1 and then an AoE height range of 1. This is mostly something that comes up in class matches, because class match maps, especially in manual, they have so many varying heights, and people stand on different heights to not get hit by units that can't reach those heights. She doesn't have any skill that actually has height range 2. She only has this skill that has height range 1 plus AoE height range 1, so you can kind of target some squares, but she doesn't have anything that targets height range 2, so you have to be a little bit careful for that. She also comes with move 3 jump 1, but one of her passives gives her an additional move, so she can go to move 4 jump 1. But just having jump 1 and also having height range 1, it could make it a little bit difficult to run her in things like manual matches and some class matches as well. So if you are we're talking more about Frostbite. If you are planning to run her as Frostbite, right? Like, oh, this is my Frostbite champion. She's going to go and disable all these units from casting skills. Just be wary that this is the range of the skill. There are units that can disable or something like that with a much better range than you, right? Like for example, those snipers. The snipers have a disable range of much higher. Up to I think 6 or 7 with the different range passives they have. So they're more likely to disable you than you are more likely to land Frostbite on them, right? So that's something you have to keep in mind. You have to keep those chance that you get disabled or stopped or confused or something like that, you have to keep that in the back of your mind if you're going to be playing with her at 97 Faith to take advantage of this. Um, Other than that, there are some positives, I think. Like, I think her first skill, uh, Constricting Cleave, which has a range of 5, uh, this skill and her, like, Frostwind Axe, these are probably the two skills that you'll be using a lot because they have very good range. Um, but they also have they have very low very low AP cost compared to other skills. Like this one only costs 14 AP, the Constricting Cleave, and the second skill costs 18 AP, which is a lot cheaper than other units is bread and butter skills, right? So using her own TMR on her probably is enough for AP generation to use these skills. Like she has other good skills, like for example, this Twisting Shield Breaker, which breaks physical barriers. However, it's only range 1, right? It actually is height range 2, but still, it's range 1, so it's really difficult to use. Um, and then this skill as well, it's only range of 2. uh, it has it has good effects, like it increases her defense penetration by 40. It heals some of the damage done, but because of the short ranges, I don't know how often you will be getting to use these skills compared to the skills I pointed out earlier. um, she also has, if you are running her at 97 Faith, you can also use this skill as well, Snipe Dagger, because it has a 25% chance of inflicting confusion on the enemy. So this this could work as well, but it has a lot more of an AP cost associated with the skill. So to keep that in mind. Um, so I mean, all the other skills, there isn't really too much to say. I like that she has an accuracy buff on her, because I'm these days I'm always looking for a unit with some kind of accuracy buff. In the past, I used to use some kind of TMR that would give one of my units an accuracy buff. Now I try to find a unit that already has the skill there, because it's not going to stack. Like I can't get a TMR and stack the TMR's accuracy buff with this buff. So I don't need to worry about getting accuracy from a TMR anymore. So I think that's a great positive that she has that in her kit. Um, the skill I already talked about, that gives spirit and magic. It also gives you 40% attack as well, so it's a nice attack booster as well as magical defenses booster. Um, so that's all that I have to say about her skills, really. But um, I want to say that I think there is one way that I haven't seen anybody talk about. I mean, I haven't seen too many videos of her yet, so maybe somebody did talk about her this way. But I think it's possible to be running her in a light slash team with Rob Horn. And the reason I think that is because, first of all, her luck isn't, really high. I think it's actually about, uh, like, say, 20 points lower than Rob. However, she gets this skill. Where did it go? Shadowcast. She gets Shadowcast, which increases her evasion rate by 42, whereas Rob and samurais in general gets an evasion skill that increases their evade by 25 compared to 42. So 42 is a lot higher than 25, obviously, but she doesn't get any kind of evade passives or anything, so she'll be lacking a bit there. However, the thing about light evade teams is that you can build out an entire uh, like light team that has the maximum evade cards possible, whereas you give them a 35% luck card, you give them a 20 evade card, and you give them a 15% agility card, while also giving them all the necessary components to have the maximum attack needed as well. So how you do that is you can use the Ramza VC. Actually, I'll take a moment to just go into the uh, the cards so you can see what I'm talking about. So here is the light. Oops. The light cards. Okay. So this card, the Scion of House Beluve, that gives 15% agility, but it also gives 35 slash attack to light units. So with that card, you get the maximum amount of slash damage you want, like the slash attack you want, while also getting the maximum amount of agility for the whole party. If you give, where's the other card? This one, Flash of Insight. This card gives you the maximum evasion rate for light units, that's 20, while also giving them the maximum attack, which is 50% to light units, right? So already she has like the maximum attack that she needs, which is 50% attack and 35 slash attack. And on top of that, she also has the maximum evade, which is, 20 evade I talked about, and the 15% agility from the Ramza card I talked about. And then you have to give the whole party some kind of luck card, probably like the Ketone card or something. So this way now you have a team of light slash units that have maximum attack and maximum evade. So if she doesn't evade something, I mean, that's okay because she still has all the attacking capabilities that you want an attacker to have. So I thought that was an interesting idea. Now, I don't actually have a light slash evade team, so I don't know how effective it is, but it's just an idea, You would have to really build on it and test it out to see for yourself if it's good or not. But this is just an idea that I want to share. So now that I've talked a little bit about the unit, what do I think about her in general? Do I think she's a good unit? Would I pull for her? So for me, while Frostbite is good, I don't see myself using it, a lot because of the kit that I talked about, where she doesn't have resistances to too many things, notably stop, and very low resistance to disable, and then no confusion resist. So that's a negative for me. But the bigger negative for me is just that she doesn't have any good height 2 skills. The maximum range on her skills is 4, and the skills that she does have, the height 2 is only like range 1, so it's really hard to use. So for me, that's a negative for using in class match. And generally these days I'm trying to pull units that I think would be very effective for class matches, and I don't see her being effective for class match. So that's the reason why I'm not going to pull her personally. But there are, I think, a couple of reasons that you can pull her. The number one reason, obviously, is that for waifu material, right? Like if she looks good, if you like her design, if you think she looks neat for a summer unit, yeah, definitely pull her. You'll probably have a lot more fun using a unit that you like than a unit that's meta that you don't like. So if you like her, pull for her, right? But is she good? Like I think I think there is uses for her. Black Rose Helena is dominating the, arena, guild wars, and everything right now, right? So having a unit that is able to damage her, because Black Rose Helena also has very high magic resistance. So this unit will be a good, magic tank while being able to damage other magic tanks, right? So she has that because she will be able to deal a lot of damage to her. And she basically has something for everybody, right? Like some way of dealing with everyone. Because if you are up against a magic attacker, she has magic defenses for that, so she'll be taking reduced damage from them. While if you are up against a physical attacker, she can cast Frostbite on them and reduce their effectiveness. However, in auto battles, sometimes it's difficult to get her to target the units that you want, because if she has a chance to hit, say, Black Rose Helena, or the King Mont that's approaching you, and the King Mont doesn't have any hate on him, she'll probably hit Helena because Helena will take more damage. But you really want to hit King Mont and cast Frostbite on him so he doesn't berserk you the next turn, right? But it's hard to get the AI to do exactly what you want. So honestly, I don't know how good she will be in auto for that, because it'll be so hard to get her to do exactly what you want. She has a bunch of neat stuff in her kit, especially her buffs, right? Like some of these buffs are very, very good. Like Spirit Ward, I think, is a fantastic buff. On top of that, she has the Call of the Wild with accuracy and slash resist penetration. You might be up against a team that has a lot of slash resistance, and this buff would really help you. But how would you know before you fight sometimes, right? Like in Guild War, how would you know until you get into the fight or something like that? And switching these around and things like that, sometimes it's not possible to do. So for auto, I don't think she'll be very, very good either. But I think she might be good in evade teams that I talked about. I think that might be one niche way of playing her. How many people are, have these light slash evade teams built out though? That's the question, right? I mean, I've seen some like Rob Horn teams, but they weren't very popular. Uh, so I don't know. I mean, I guess this remains to be seen. But for me personally, I don't think she's a strong sell. Personally, I mean, she's not. I don't think she's going to be very good in CM for the reasons I talked about. It doesn't mean she's bad, but if I compare her to say like a free unit like 9S, who has like so many skills that are height range two, and he also has range 5 skills, and he has like many different types. He doesn't only do slash attack, he does like many different types of attack, right? So he is like a fantastic unit for CM. He's like so flexible, so versatile, whereas she's not, right? So that's the difference. It doesn't mean that she's gonna suck in CM. It just means in a general case basis, she would probably not. Like you have to build an entire team around her to take advantage of her uniqueness and how she works and things like that. Whereas 9S, I can put him on like so many teams to do many different things. So that's my verdict, right? Like I like she could work if you build a team around her, but for general use, I don't think she would work, especially in CM. For auto, like she does a lot of interesting things. I think you'd have to spend all the time and effort to, you know, make sure that you finesse her auto abilities. Like maybe you have to put her in the certain slot, like across from a physical attacker to make sure she casts Frostbite on them, or you have to turn off like so and so skills and things like that. So you have to like really finesse with her to get her to work how you want, and she could work, but it seems like it might be a bit of work to get there. So if you're willing to put in the work, yeah, it should probably work for you if you're willing to put in the work to do that. Um, and again, like if you just really like the character and you want to make her work, you probably could find a way to do that. So, and as I said before, you're definitely going to enjoy using a character that you like more than one that everyone else uses and more than one that's just considered meta. So if you really like her, you like the design, you like Kilphe as a character, you like the original, so you want to get the summer one, go for it, right? Um, but anyway, that's my review. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my thoughts on this. If you have any other questions or comments, or if I've overlooked something and you think she's a fantastic unit for X reason that I did not consider, leave them in the comments as well. I would really like to understand your point of view. But anyway, that's it for me. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.